Hello, everyone.
Or
This is the vhybZ
hello,
Hackathon session.
welcome to our grand hackathon session.
Yes. All right. So I was saying, as a general overview of where we are at, we have the React Native vhybZ code base. This is as as shown on the repo 17 commits old, but I'm sure Farhood has some more that he will push like right after this meeting probably. This would be the app that you just prompt through this app and get your HTML rendered in the middle of the app. You will also have the chat flow, but through another view. And you can even completely probably ignore it and just prompt and see the effects of your prompts reflected on the generated HTML. So this is the front end side. On the back end, we don't have a code base. We haven't started. All we have is a domain. We have a very cool domain. vhybz.com. See, we're rich. We have a 5-letter .com domain.
Yeah,
All thanks to this weird H, because this H is very cool. But looks good.
it likes my name in the beginning, like BH is my abbreviation.
All right, yeah, you're right, Haratian. So that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So, but the destination for the backend is when the user prompts these HTMLs essentially. After they share, or like even in the middle, as like a backup mechanism, this HTML is uploaded to the backend, meaning it's being the whole conversation flow, everything is kept track of through the backend. But more importantly, after the user is happy at the stage, they can click share. Say, now I want to share this HTML that I've generated, right? And what happens then is it becomes, for example, julian.vhybz.com / my experiment 1. So the job of the backend team is to take that thing that's generated when the user clicks share. There's two things. First, creates this tenancy mechanism, this username.vhybz.com mechanism for each user, which is through my current working candidate for this Cloudflare API. So since our website is on Cloudflare, like the DNS is managed by Cloudflare, we can easily like manage subdomains like this with Cloudflare. So that's just some Cloudflare hacking. And then wherever this HTML is hosted, we are debating ICP a little, but we're not sure. We think it can be hard. But in either case, we talked to Farhood to make it pluggable, so you can choose your hosting option. Say, I want to host on ICP, or I want to host on this and that, right? So we make a pluggable architecture that we can swap between different hosting options, right? Yeah, that's it. So that's the whole for the purpose of hackathon. I think that's enough of a scope. As soon as the scope is on the front end, the user prompts some stuff and gets an HTML, and on the back end, we make it live on a URL like this. Do you think this scope is just? Farhood, what do you think about the scope? Achievable? Too much? Too little?
I I think it's achievable.
I agree.
Should be doable, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and the goal is then to straight away give this to a couple of content creators that we know, like Terma and Money. They have like a small follower base. I might also reach out to, like, I'm Patreon member of some of these coffee YouTubers, and tell them, hey, you open to testing out this tool to create your own thingy? The viral element. So this is like the 1 week scope of like this thing that you prompted live on this URL. For the 5 week scope, we need to think about a virality element, and that's we talked about candidates of this, right? So say someone opens this URL and there is a compiled video at the end. So say this is like something, a game that I play, right? At the beginning of this game, it asks for my camera access, right? And as I play the game, say for half an hour, the video is recorded like on the browser, and then it's compiled to a 15 seconds reaction video of me as I'm playing this game. So I'm not sure how hard would it be to record both HTML, like the render of HTML on the browser side, and the video from the camera feed, and then on the browser with LLM remix it.
I have more privacy issue. I think this is not good to capture users' videos. That's not, as long as the user don't want to share his video, I don't think it's cool to capture him using the app.
I agree. I think it will be a no-go for most sharing the video. But we can revert to our other working candidate, which is I voluntarily have like an upload button that I can upload stuff. But my goal is what makes it viral, if you get this link and you click on it, it should be your personal experience as an attachment. So say I've played this game, right? My best working candidate was a 15-second video or whatever. That doesn't need to be the camera feed of the user. But I think like a video that's different for each user is the most viral thing. Especially if it's like 15 seconds, because it can be shared across many different platforms. Insta, TikTok, like even like YouTube, whatever. What do you think?
My 2 cents is let's make it, the user who creates the content can ask for some type of result, like upload your video or upload a picture, and that would be the output of the user experience, so he can publish that experience again. He will create with input that he access to, which created by the creator. The user will get another HTML, I think. And he can we can create like a GIF or something to share it.
Agreed. That's cool. Actually, GIF is cool too, because anyhow, so let's work with things that we know. We don't know what the 5 week end goal is, but we know that in this week we don't get there. So in this week, the goal is an end-to-end without the attachment. So when we have the fruit of this week's work, we will consult with our users, and we cook up a plan for the rest of it. What we know is we need to provide room for a way that some form of unique asset is generated from someone opening this link and going through it. We will have that in mind, but we won't implement it now. Cool? Okay.
Yeah, it makes more sense. So we'll kind of mock it up right now, and then we'll flush it out a bit more after next week.
Yeah. So right now, even after this week, we will have a fully functional product, right? Like a very minimum viable. minimum workable product, which is you can prompt and you can get your HTML. Most importantly, it has a home. It has a URL that's live. That's already like a full cycle. You just don't get the, oh, after I finished this game, whatever that's live on this URL, I don't get like an artifact that I can download. That will leave it for later. Okay. Yeah. On my end, the only other thing is we also applied for a grant from the funding. This is not the scope of this hackathon because this grant has just been applied for right now. But this would be like some agentic capabilities that make our tools smarter with symbolic reasoning. So Julian, but I think tomorrow is the deadline for this, and it will go live, so you can see the details. Because before the deadline, it's kept in secret, but after it goes after the deadline is passed, it's unlocked. You will see all these other tabs that it has. Right? I can also share these, but yeah, we'll also see how this goes. Okay, that was all on my end. Faru, do you want to share? You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Eh?
So this is what we have. Let me just make a Flappy Bird game. Start and name of the menu.
Ah.
Yep. And that's somehow working. And this is the new feature that I'm focused on.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, it's not very
Renders.
clear what is it, but it's just a graph renderer that render my execution agents.
Uh-huh.
There is right now there is a mock agent here, two doc agents, just to show them. But it will show. It will has the capability to show when the user. Let me go back. When this prompt start executing in the graph, user can see what's happening under the execution order, like what's the memory of each agent, what's I'm calling it a thread right now. Thread is an agent name and all of its conversation. And the whole thread is an array of these thread items. So, and the agents have memory. Memory is a function that gets the whole thread and make some content for the prompt for the LLM. They are reducers.
Farho, to see if I get you right, do you mean this graph is the conversation history, like the prompt history, or is it something else?
No, it's execution history. Every circle will be an agent. It has a memory of its own, and they can be chained. Like you can create chain of thought or chain of tools, and they should be available by adding it in UI. it will be for two purposes: to improve the agent and backtrace their working, because I'm hating to read logs anymore.
Yeah.
I have it. I have enough of it. So, so these are tools to build agents right
Sure.
now,
So,
and
Farhad,
an
if I
agent
see
and
10 nodes here, does it mean that these 10 things are running simultaneously, or is this a history?
no, that's graph execution. Every output of every node will be input of the
So,
next node.
if I see a graph, this is my current architecture of my app, essentially.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's your not your app creator. What is what is creating your app? You know,
Okay. Elaborate. Interesting.
well,
Meet your creator. That's funny. Let's go.
I couldn't build a simple multiple agent with code
Okay.
that builds me every game that I want or
Uh-huh.
every content.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking I'm making it more verbose and changeable.
Uh-huh.
I think uh, this UI makes you create a workflow that will generate the end HTML. It will be default, as we may have two or three of this kind of builders
Uh-huh.
for users. They can build some kind of content
All right.
with them.
So this is very similar to, say, something like Cursor that has this pre prompts that that's what makes it different than like directly interfacing with like Claude Sonnet, for example, right? So if you open Cursor and prompt something, it does different steps than if you would have gone directly to Claude Sonnet, because Cursor has, as you says, this execution instructions that will activate different paths of execution based on the prompts. So you're saying we are what is it, hard coding 3-4 types of this different agent graphs, or are these generated on the fly based on user needs? Like are these, my question is, this execution mechanism, is it hard coded or discovered?
Right now, it's hard coded,
Mm-hmm.
but it will be add and remove. You can change the agent prompt and its model. I don't think I'm going to add a model. It's just going to be prompt. And is it have session and its tools like create image. I done some experiment with these. I created two simple hard-coded agents. One created the image and one create the full HTML. And I asked the first one to I make it as a tool. I don't. It's a function tool in LLM API. And I added to that function, and LLM start to create its own character for Flappy Bird, like how should be bird look, how should the flower look, and it was fun.
Yeah.
So
It's a,
I'm
it's a
thinking,
society of minds in in its own. So Julian, of Minds is this paper by, I think, Marvin Minsky. That's like one of the first cognitive architectures, but it's very preliminary. But this is the implementation of different agents focused on different parts of your HTML. Essentially, am I getting it right, Fahad?
yep.
And what's your current? Are these MCP or are these something else?
What? No, the MCP is not hard.
No, it's not.
If you can, if you can read the function tools from client, you can add any MCP. I think I could make it work. So you can add external MCPs, but not in my scope currently. I just going to create some simple tools like create character or some kind of extractor tools, and that's going to be it
Cool. Yeah,
for now.
yeah. I was just asking because I wrote the meta meta proposal for SingularityNet around MCP. So we will, but it's not needed for now. We need something working this week, not something like compatible with everyone everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, thank you so much for this. Farah, do you have any code to show? Can you point us to any like
I have an open pull request.
uh-huh.
I think it's not currently updated. I will push tonight anyway, but let me show you the pull request. That's the only pull request in RN vibes.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to Telegram, I think.
I'll be back in a minute. Just gotta check on something real quick.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, no.
Farah, if you unshare, I can share and show it.
Yeah.
Share screen. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so this is the pull requests. This is your current work, right? Like the graph engine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll give this a review.
Yeah. Wait. I don't. This pull request is for 2 days ago. I didn't commit for 2 days, but I code a lot.
Okay.
I visualizing graph is a word on its own,
Yeah.
and I'm doing it from the low level less that is possible because there's a new engine called Sky
Yeah.
that is working React Native. It can generate 2D and 3D visualization.
Yeah.
So I'm creating from scratch everything to show the graph. I use a dagger to calculate the x of y of every node. That is not working correctly right now.
Yeah.
But that's it for now. I'm going to go and try to add a forms for create and builders for creating agent, and that would be it. That's in my part.
Cool. So to summarize, I see two big pockets of work that need to happen in the next 4 days. One bucket of work is make it look good. So front end, like it's just like touches of it's not even necessarily adding logic, it's just adding css mostly. So make it prettification of the UI, and also that includes probably adding the conversation. Sorry, what were you saying?
The conversation is, I think, should be added, but I just want to say that's materialized term,
Mm-hmm.
and we can, I think, I'm I'm not very graphical person,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that would be cool if you.
None of us are, but thankfully LLMs are versed enough. We can ask them, and but the criteria here is make it feel polished, right? Make it feel like an app that has been given enough care for the first impression of the person who downloaded it. Which
Absolutely.
amounts to, as you said, giving lots of styles to many things and stuff. So I'm saying it's a combination of prettification, like CSS, and also adding functional elements like conversation flow. So this would whoever takes on this should closely work with Farhood to make sure whatever they build, because like you want to create the conversation flow, like you're adding UI elements. So needs synchronization with Farhood to make sure that person is aligned with whatever Farhood is doing. That's one chunk of
Yeah.
work. The other big chunk of work is that hosting, like that Cloudflare API calling. So everything that takes to get this HTML, this Flappy Bird in the middle, and have it uploaded on a username.vibes.com link. Okay, do you want to self-designate what you want to? What do you think, Julian? I talked a lot. Farhood, I think, gave some. What do you think? Any questions on your end before we try to divide and conquer?
Yeah, so you mentioned those two main categories. So one of them would just be solely focused on just getting it hosted on that separate website. And then the second one, I believe, is sort of working on the LLM chain of reasoning with Farhood, right? Just make sure I'm getting that right.
Yes. So exactly. One is working on this React Native Vibes repository, and as you said, like for example, I think one of the UI challenges I hear a lot is streaming of tokens through LLM. So in that conversation view, the tokens come character by character. The rendering of that I've heard from others who've implemented this is a pain. So all that work. So that's front end React Native work. Well, I mean, front end is a loaded term now. Our front ends are also back end. So, but yeah, I mean, the React Native side. That's one side. The other side is a code that at the end gives React Native some APIs to call for upload and sync and download.
Listen, I feel like based on what I've done so far, I'd probably be good with helping, I guess, Farhood with helping the React Native app. Maybe implementing the LLMs and chain of conversation with that. I guess I could get on top of that if needed.
That's perfect. So you initiate talks with Farhood in the WhatsApp menu, and I think that's perfect because I was thinking I can work on Cloudflare and like that whole pipeline in the next 2 days. I don't mind. It's something that I don't see a big risk in, and then we will have an end-to-end. I think those two are the riskiest things. If we get the app polished and workable on the React Native side, and then publishable, we have a minimum workable product. So I'll self-designate to I'm the URL guy.
And I don't think you need Cloudflare. And you can use Cloudflare function, and but it can be a simple.
Not for not for hosting, Farhood. The Cloudflare part is just the tenancy. So we need a user system, right? So I need to create those like a sign in essentially, right? Sign in with Google, sign in with Apple. And then when you do that, you designated a username, and that username becomes your subdomain on Vibes. So it becomes farhood.vibes.com. That's all I need from
Yeah.
Cloudflare, not necessarily the hosting of HTML itself. That can be do. It has something called workers. I think Cloudflare workers that can host things. Not a priority right now. Like for HTML, what are you thinking for the actual HTML hosting? So I don't need. I didn't mean Cloudflare as hosting option. I just meant subdomain management.
Yep, but 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 I have a question. See, your subdomain is going to be connected with users. Cloudflare will handle the user signing parts
No.
too.
So we just call a function from Cloudflare and tell it redirect this subdomain to this IP, which is the hosting of that HTML for that user.
So why don't use wildcard star dot use
Yeah.
star dot vibes app and handle all the URL tenancy in
Could be.
backend app?
You're right. We can. Yeah, absolutely. Like we can just have a wildcard, and then on the back end we say, oh, this username redirects to this page. Um, I'll discuss it with you on the architecture side. One thing that I thought, Farhud, maybe it might be worth separating is exactly that different hosting options. What if our but that can be doable too, right? If like our backend is like an Nginx or something, then it can route different. Here's my point, Farhud. What if my backend is hosted on ICP, your backend is hosted on, I don't know, GitHub Pages?
We will need a load balancer
Yeah, like Nginx, right?
and like uh, they are growing like a weed. Search GitHub, ask one.
So you're saying don't your point here is don't lock it to Cloudflare, instead have that logic in a load balancer.
Yep, for now, just put everything in backend.
I agree. I agree.
I-
Like for now, all of it even can be handled through Fast API.
Yep. I
Simple.
I think we will build a monolith anyway. Let's build a monolith.
I'm down. I love monoliths. After LLMs, I love monoliths more than microservices because LLMs can handle monoliths.
Yep. Humans can handle.
Also, I agree.
I don't want to wait for a pod to go up, go down, and
Yeah.
a lot of
No, I did
bullshit.
my whole point of having but which is as you said completely out of scope for this week, but this mechanism of where the HTML comes from, it's good for it to be pluggable, so you can change it from one provider to the other due to two things. First, costs optimization, like as us as the maintainers of this may want to go from AWS to GCP to Azure to ICP and then pay less and then for that reason alone. But
I think we can build a pluggable backend.
Mhm.
Backend, not providers.
yeah,
Like
you're right. Cool. So I'm the guy. I'm the URL guy. Whatever that means. But I will sync with you. Like as I make progress on it, I'll send daily updates in the group. Julian,
Sure.
your task is to drain Farhud from information. Any Farhud lock-ins in the code. Make this enigma,
Yep.
break this enigma code that you see on the screen, which is this person.
Oh, right. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get that set up. Maybe probably best to make a branch and make edits on that. Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Pull requests. That's our normal Git workflow. But I mean, like, don't be shy. Ask him questions, and like whatever, whenever, like be on your own. Like, go as far as you can. But as soon as you get blocked, just send him like an async message. This has been our workflow because we are also in different time zones. Maybe there's like a 9-hour difference between the time that you get the message, but don't shy away from like just asking him for stuff, like requesting him to do things.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give it a look. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, sounds very good. Very nice.
So Julian, as the first step, when you went through the repo clone that created your own branch, right at the build that you see on the screen currently, just update us with a plan that you have in mind for your own tasks and the WhatsApp group. Say, I'm probably gonna do these things in the next 3 days. Conversation flow implementation, beautification of the main page. I'm gonna add these views, something general.
Oh, yeah, or chain out, implementing the chain of thought. But I think I will update him tomorrow
Okay.
after I finish the last touch of this part.
Yeah.
But the current version don't need I think my graph execution to create chain of thought that can create HTML. He will.
You're not
It's more
that's
manual.
not pending. Yeah, Julian, the graph execution that Farhood is working on is not related to that conversation view, that beautification of the first page. All of those are like separate matters.
I see. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. And for chain of reasoning, it's just me continuing to prompt the LLM to ask for specific instructions.
Yeah, and I think chain of thought. I think Farhood, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Farhood is talking about the UI when it says thinking. So that's another separate. Am I right, Farhood? Is that what you mean by chain of thought?
Yeah, what?
You earlier mentioned implement chain of thought. Was that? Did you mean on the view side, like how it looks in the app, chain of thought, or did you mean something else?
No. I was. I don't think Julian is very. I think his expertise in more in agents build and building AI engineering. I think.
Oh, he's expert in everything. Don't worry about him. Like he can also.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can also. Yeah. He is next gen, man. He's you and I. We are combustion engine. He's Tesla.
Yeah. I'm feeling old.
We are old. Don't believe it. Don't feel.
I'm starting yoga. I can't sleep past. If I sleep past 12, I will have a bad morning.
Yeah, we are picking up old men habits and like doing this. That's weird. I never thought I would be an old man. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're all cool on the scope and everything. So Julian, that your step by step is clone the repo, go to your depths, like onboard yourself, and then craft a plan, ping Farhood as needed. My plan of action is I'll go deep on the backend side. I'll propose an architecture by tomorrow. And I'll get to implementing it. I'll have it. I'll also try to get started on coding today. That's my 3 years. I've been waiting for this moment for 3 years just code and stop going to meetings.
Cool.
All right. And I'll also
Yeah.
upload this video in YouTube for for Vahid to review later.
Okay.
Anything else anyone wanted to touch on? You good, Julian?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just gonna try and get the Rico working as soon as I can. I'll kind of juggle that between work today, but I'll find some time today for sure to get it downloaded, and I'll update you guys as soon as I run into something or I end up getting it set up. So yeah, that's kind of my plan of attack.
Perfection. All good. I'll stop recording here.